what does everybody in your family and people that know you make of all this change? Because change is the key here, isn't it?
They are absolutely amazed at the transformation, really.
Yeah.
And not, you know, because not only has the medication helped tremendously, but my exercise, you know, I'm on the treadmill an hour a day. I'm probably on it at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm getting my steps in, and I'm doing weightlifting. So I've got some
So you're counting your steps as well?
Yeah, some days I like to do about 20,000 steps in a day. Wow. But like I said, I've got a treadmill, so what I do an hour on a treadmill will do me 10,000 steps, and then the rest is just going in the garden. But I mean, like I said, a year ago there was no way I could do that. The only thing is, I'm still, like I said, my fine motor skills they're not brilliant, but right. I'm moving more easily, if you can understand. Whereas I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning and all my meds are pretty worn off, I am rigid and stiff. I can barely get out of bed, and that is awful until I get my meds down me. I go straight to my cupboard. I mean, it's ridiculous how many meds I'm on, but you know, within 10 minutes, I start coming round and feeling good again.
Same here.
But, you know, it's horrible. That first thing when you wake up in the morning, I hate.
It's really tough, isn't it? I describe myself as being like an aged orangutan. So I always make sure. I used to bring my meds up so that they were next to the bed, and I'd initially be very good. The alarm would go off and I'd wake up and I'd take my meds straight away. And then I got really lazy, and I'd just say to myself, oh, you know, I'll take them in a minute, and then I'd forget. So what I do now is I've left them downstairs so that when the alarm goes off, I have to get up and I have to go down, because if I don't, I'm actually in quite a lot of pain, because the rigidity is quite painful sometimes.
In the morning, it's awful. Absolutely awful. My legs, everything. And like, you feel like 100 years old. Yeah, it's just, that's the worst part of my day, is first morning. I hate it.
Completely agree. And I waddle myself down the stairs. You know how you normally would walk down the stairs like one foot on the next step and then one foot on the next step? I have to put both feet onto the same step, like one after the other, and then the next one in the same way. There have been times where I've actually sat down and just slid down on my bum as well. Don't know if you've ever had to do that.
Oh no, yes, I have. I mean, for me, when I get out of bed and I try and stretch my legs, they'll have spasms as well. And like, you know, it's very strange. I go downstairs like an old woman, you know, basically walking all rigid and all couched over and everything. And then take my medication, and then I'd say really within half an hour, I'm running up the stairs. Almost.
It's weird, isn't it? It's so hard to explain to people as well, because people, I don't know, it must look like almost a fake thing. I don't know. I mean, we've got a stool in the kitchen, as you know, and a couple of them now, and so I'll get up, and nowadays I'm getting up very early. I'm up from sort of 5 or sometime between 5 and 7, which is initially a horrible shock for me, because that's not me. But actually I'm starting to like it, which is really nice. But I'll take my meds and I'll sit on a stool with a coffee, and I take that sort of 10 or 15 minutes, and I just almost like I have to unfold, because I'm kind of scrunched up from the discomfort of it all. And then suddenly you feel liberated. You feel like, wow, I can move my body, and I can just start doing things. And suddenly I guess you work out a rough time. You know that it's maybe a 15-minute thing or a half an hour thing, but you get into that rhythm and you start to know how your body works and how that change happens. When people see it, it's really hard for them to understand what you go through, because I don't know about you, I don't have any sort of feeling of something happening. It's just that I can suddenly do things. And so you just gradually unfold because you can.
And I think for me as well, I know what my best part of the day is. So when I've taken my meds, and you know, that's when I go on my treadmill, because I know this is my best part of the day, is first thing in the morning after half an hour or so of taking my meds. That is my ultimate best. I'm still good, but you know, as the day goes on, I can steadily just get a bit slower and everything, even though I'm still amazing compared to I was. I know when that is my best part of the day, is between 7 and 11. That's when I feel at my most best.
Your peak.
Yeah. And I think that's the madded part, because I have a dispersal tablet as well, and that gives me a boost. And I was told that, you know, if I feel like I need a boost during the day, you know, I could take one. But, you know, I feel like I don't really need that. I need it in the morning. That's when I need it most. I don't know if you like it, but I love that Madapar.
Oh, you know what? I don't know really much about Madapar and Cinemet, but I mean, levodopa is the main ingredient that helps us, but Madapar is what I was put on, and it just changed my life completely. My neurologist said to me that he'd never seen such an advanced case of Parkinson's that had not ever been treated. So I had my symptoms. I started going to the doctors late teens, early 20s, but I knew that I'd had symptoms prior to that, maybe even into my young childhood. And they just kept saying to me, you know, we'll just have to keep monitoring. You're too young. Go away. Come back. So I did for 20 years. When I got the levodopa in the form of Madapar, it was everything you've described. It was that sense of suddenly I've got myself back, can do things again. That euphoria of just like, wow, you know, I can move my face, make expressions, and even that sounds ridiculous, but when you can't do it, you really know what's been taken away from you, if you like. You really feel like something, you feel the disability of it. So it's an incredible thing, absolutely incredible thing. But I was going to ask you about what as part of your morning regime, do you have a breakfast or anything to eat while you're doing your meds? Because I have to. I feel a bit nauseous if I don't.
You see, the first thing I do is when I wake up. I wake up about about 5 o'clock, but I'll just sort of lay in bed for a little while, and then I get up, and then about 6 o'clock I'll take all my meds, and I just let myself take them in and get, you know, wait about half an hour, and then I start moving again. That's when I go straight on the treadmill. So I'll do an hour on the treadmill, then I'll do 15 minutes with my weights, and then I do some leg work as well. So about an hour and a half, I do that. So that takes me to about 7:30, and that's when I have my breakfast.
Wow, that's incredible.
But I drink loads of water. I always have a bottle of water with me now, and you know, I drink. That's good.
It's great.
I drink water.
Well, it's amazing.
I drink loads of it.
Is that regular water, or is that like isotonic water or something?
It's just plain water from the tap. Sometimes I put ice in, but and it's something that I knew that I was never drinking enough water, because I wasn't really a water fan. I'd drink lemonade and Coke and things like that. Ooh. But you know, and diet obviously. But I thought, you know, now I'm doing all this exercise, I need to keep drinking. And then I mean, you're supposed to have quite a lot of water a day, really. I think, is it about 2 litres a day? Yeah,
definitely. And I used to be able to, well, I'm not saying this, that I could do this because it was a good thing, but I would sometimes get up in the morning, go to work a full day, come home and have my first drink of the day at about 6 o'clock, which is not a good thing to do.
No, really not. So, I drink plenty of water, but I don't eat breakfast, you know, when I take my meds, and it doesn't make me feel sick or anything. So I actually haven't read if I'm supposed to, but
no, I mean, they used to recommend that we take a biscuit or a cracker or something like that as we take our meds, because then that can help the digestive process. Basically, from what I understand from my neurologist, when we take in the medication, the levodopa gets absorbed into the body via the lining of the gut. And so sometimes the process of eating helps that, so that you get more of the levodopa passing through where it needs to get to. If you don't have something to eat, apparently we might lose some of the levodopa that we should get, because it may not all make it through. They recommend that we do it. And also that having that piece of food can also take away nausea for some people, that we get that.
Right.
But there's a lot they don't tell us that we just have to find out, really. Probably the hard way normally.
Yeah.
But
I tend not to read the side effects or anything. You know, if my neurologist says, right, you take that, I just take it, because sometimes it's scary. But yeah, I mean, obviously when I have my lunchtime ones, I'll be eating, and the evening ones I tend to be eating. But the first ones in the morning, it's I don't know, how many tablets do I take? 3, 4, 5, 6. Take about 6 or 7 tablets in the morning, and I just take them all.
So are you happy to say what you take?
Yeah, I'm on blood pressure tablet, so I have to take one of those, and I always take that first thing in the morning as I'm going straight onto the treadmill afterwards. My 3 tablets of Cinnamate. Then I have my Madapar disposal. Then I'm on a gynecology tablet, so I'm on one of them, and then I'm on Pramipixole. That's a slow release, so I only have to take one of those now, and it lasts for 24 hours. And then I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just got them all lined up in the thing, and it's just like, right, that one. But have you ever taken one and then you know, because you've got so many, and I'm getting lazy and I don't put them in my little containers, and then I can't remember if I took the.
Oh my God! You know what?
Like, oh no, I don't know if I took it, and then I don't take it again.
You don't. What I found is, if I don't deal with it right away, in a minute, the thought about it can go. And it's the same when it comes to putting the medication together. If I don't stick to my routine, then I will go on to something else and I'll completely forget. So the next day, I'll start my meds, but I'll just grab them out of the packets and the bottles randomly as wherever they are. And I, for some reason, don't then stop and put them all together as they should be. It's like you have this, or I have this sequence where I've got to stick to it. Otherwise, I just go into a bit of chaos.
Yeah, well, I was a bit like that, but I don't have the pill pox anymore. I just it's just too time consuming to do it. I just, you know, it's just like, oh, I'll just take them. You know, I've basically got all my meds in a box, and they're all in there, thrown in, and it's just chaos.
What,
I know.
just tucked in?
I just put them all in.
No way.
They're all named. No, I get them all out in the morning, so like lay them out and everything, and then I start taking them, and then when I got to about the 3rd or 4th tablet, I'm thinking, well, did I just take my blood pressure tablet?
Yeah.
And then I take my blood pressure tablet again, because then obviously my blood pressure could just plummet. Sometimes I think, oh, Tracy, get yourself sorted and put them in your pill box, but it's just, what
are you resistant to? You're resisting something there, aren't you?
I think it's just bloody fiddly.
Yeah,
isn't it a really boring, depressing job?
Yeah.
And I think it's worse, you know, when you lay them all out and you put them in the pill box and you think, bloody hell, you know, you can see what you're taking, whereas when I just throw everything in a box, I just take them out and then shut the box. It's
almost like it feels like your day or your week is lined up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's.
I know.
I just don't know. I know I should do this, and I was doing it, and then, like you said, you get out of it, and then you've got to get yourself back into it. But it's a job that it's just something I don't like doing about it. So I just like throw them all in the box.
So, but do you think you're missing quite a lot of them then?
No.
Or popping too many?
I'm probably taking too many. That's probably why I'm so happy. So, No, I think mainly because I've got my blood pressure ones that I take first, and you know, by the time I've gone through them all, I'm thinking, well, I did take the blood pressure. It's usually my blood pressure one that I'm more concerned with, because I have taken too many of them once before, and I was quite ill because your blood pressure just plummets really low, and it stays like that, and obviously until it's out of your system. And I did that once or twice, and I really don't want to do it again. So I do tend to not take it at all. If I'm not really sure, I just don't bother. And then maybe take it, because I'm supposed to take a blood pressure tablet at night time, but to me my blood pressure settled down a bit. It wasn't quite as high. It's not as high as it was. So I don't think I really need to take 2 a day, because I do monitor myself regularly. Probably something I should discuss with my GP rather than decide myself.
All coming out now, Tracy.
but I think, you know, I know what my blood pressure is supposed to be, and I monitor it. So obviously it's around my blood pressure, which is good for me, will often be around 140/80 to 85. That is good. That is good for me. If it starts going over the bottom figure, over 90, then I will take a tablet. So I know, and I've suffered with high blood pressure since I was 29. So I've been on medication for a long time with that. But going back to, do you think I'm missing tablets? I think I'd soon notice if I was missing my Cinemet, because I can tell, you know, when it starts wearing off. I can tell. So I'd soon know if I wasn't taking that. And you know, when I was on such a small dose, sometimes I think I don't even really think I'd notice, because I just didn't see any really benefit at all from the medication I was taking.
No, I mean, you were on a tiny dose and your symptoms were as advanced as mine were. So